What's up guys, welcome to the vlog. I am incredibly sick. I've been sick for like the past 3 days. The first day I couldn't move. It was like a super, the second day got a little bit better. Third day, getting better.
It's just a static electricity. It's us moving to the sound. Your lips are all I need.
Alright guys, we got more shout outs. Cameron Smith and Sam Peter. Might not have the same amount of energy, but still trying to recover from this horrible disease. Probably just a cold or pneumonia. But let's go ahead and look at this right here. This is what makes the iPad Pro 12.9 inch somewhat of a computer replacement. It's a lightning to SD card reader. So let's go ahead and check this out and see how it works. So we got our SD card from our RX 100. Pretty sure it worked the same way with the Canon camera that I'm using right now. Now what I heard is you want to connect the SD card first, and then you want to plug in the lightning cable. Well, with the RX 100, guys, it doesn't work. It says that there's no photos to import. I didn't take any pictures, I just have a video. So, again, this is kind of one of the biggest reasons why I think the iPad Pro cannot replace a notebook, is because you run into a lot of issues like this. And I mean, if you're out and about, this is the last thing you wanna hassle with. If you had like a MacBook Air, a MacBook Pro, you could just plug it in, pop off the photos, and work with it. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and go on with this. Our little adapter. The lightning to SD card reader, it does work for the Canon camera. So the Canon 80D that I'm filming with here, but it doesn't work with the Sony RX 100 Mark V. So I could see like the kind of disadvantages. At the same time, if I recorded an MOV, then I'm pretty sure it would work. It's just that on the directory, for the Sony camera, it doesn't record onto DCIM. It records onto private and then M4 root and then clips. So it's not that easy to pull out clips even on a computer. How reliable is Luma Fusion? Well, one thing, I had a screen recording on the iPad. The iPad has its own screen recording function. I had that running the whole time I was editing the video that you guys just saw previously, and it worked flawlessly. There were some stutters. Like if I were to put in a video, delete it, put in a same video, delete it, put in the same video, and about the fourth time of me doing that very quickly, Luma Fusion will crash. But that was just me getting used to how to kind of juggle around the clips. But for the most part, if you've ever used any non-linear editing program, you're not going to have a problem with Luma Fusion. It's even easier than iMovies. There are some limiting factors, of course. You can only speed up 6 times. But besides that, the fact that there is keyframing even in audio was fantastic. And for the most part, like if I were editing in chunks, is what I always do, right? I edit this much and I'll move on, I'll edit this much and I'll move on. So then I had no problems with Luma Fusion. But say that I'm like a chunk away down and I go back to the first chunk, then Luma Fusion will have a hard time kind of syncing the audio, the keyframing. It'll stutter just a bit. But for the most part, I was surprised. The export times are insane. It just shows you how, poorly optimized computers are to programs, because to be able to do this on an iPad Pro is amazing. Now again, you don't have background rendering, you don't have this, you don't have that, you don't really have the full-on customization, but for something like an iPad Pro, it's fantastic. Alright guys, another day. I'm feeling a lot better. Voice is still kind of messed up, but I'm feeling better, and that's where it counts. Thanks to my wife, she's been nursing me back to health. I want to kind of put a little bit more detail into what I went through with Luma Fusion. I was amazed at how well it edited. I was amazed. It did so well for an iPad. Let's start with the very beginning, the import. If I use the SD card reader and I use the camera that was supported, like this Canon camera, I would have no problems getting footage into the iPad, editing it out and uploading it. And I can see it replace, I can see it replace a notebook in that aspect. But see, Apple as a company, they're genius in the fact that they have a separation of products that doesn't really replace one another. Now, the iPad Pro, it kind of got there. It was pushing the tablet zone closer to the notebook zone. And so this is why there's a lot of videos out there saying the iPad Pro could replace notebooks. But at the very end, the biggest throttle of the iPad is the iOS. The fact that you cannot have a file system search, you cannot go into certain files, pull it out, drag it over, view it. That is the biggest downfall of an iPad Pro. That, and I mean, I never liked iTunes. iTunes is just a big mess. In a pinch situation, yes, you could replace your notebook with an iPad Pro and Luma Fusion for power users that do editing. In a pinch, would you want to? Probably not. Not because it doesn't work well. It works fantastic. Actually, Luma Fusion, it blew my mind. Incredible. But because it's just more comfortable to do it on a full-size Mac. It's a lot more stable as well. Like, you can scrub through the whole timeline on a MacBook, and you won't have any parts of it where it's gonna play a sound that it shouldn't play, or some of the lines it doesn't work. So let me put this to rest. To everyone that's commented, my iPad Pro has replaced my notebook. You're gonna hit a wall sometime or another if you're one of those power users, and that obstacle you have to get around because of that wall is gonna be more time consuming and more frustrating than just getting a notebook from the beginning. If you're one of those users that already have a notebook but need something in a pinch, right? Like, I don't see myself sitting here on an iPad editing all my videos. That's just not the way I like to work. I like to work on a 27-inch or 30-inch screen with a mouse, a keyboard, all that. An iPhone X is incredibly powerful. So then if an iPad could replace your notebook, then why not just an iPhone X with the external monitor replace your notebook as well? See, it just doesn't work that way. An iPhone X, again, or the iPhone 8 or whatever, yes, that could work in a pinch situation, in a niche, right? Because you could carry it around everywhere with you. But you're not going to say it's going to replace your notebook. So there's no difference between the iPad. It cannot replace a notebook, especially because it's running iOS. And that's what it is. And this is what I thought of even before I was testing the iPad. Don't get me wrong. Love the iPad Pro. Love it. Love the big screen. Everything about it. But it's just not notebook replacement. So this is the process it took me to edit out the video before this one, from start to finish. This is about the process it will take to finish a video. For anyone that's serious about making videos, for the most part, I do very basic things. Like I add titles, here, and I put transitions between them. I do layer it with some songs. I do change a lot of the little features as much as I could find. This is my first time playing with Luma Fusion, so if I could do this in my first go and I could finish this edit in 2 hours, anyone could really just jump right into it as long as they have a little bit of experience with any kind of non-linear editing program. So if you look here, I'm pretty much scrubbing through with my fingers. I'm using a lot of the Apple Pencil actually because it was a lot smoother to use, and it was a pretty easy edit. I wouldn't say it was difficult at all. There was like little bit of glitches here and there. If I would scrub back too far or too forward and then too much backwards, then a lot of things will not sync up correctly. But that is it, guys. Alright guys, that's all I have for you guys today. Again, thank you for watching. I apologize if today's video was kind of all over the place. I'm still recovering from this death cold. And hopefully I'll be good, rockin', starting from tomorrow. And remember, live well, laugh more.